This is why monsters come out at night. Ellen was going for a walk after midnight on a full moon when she looked up and saw a red figure flying directly above her. Its wings were incredibly loud, and she screamed as the creature flew towards her and landed nearby. She was so terrified that she threw her pack of Skittles at it, and surprisingly, it started eating them. The truth was, it was only hungry. Ellen has gone for walks at night ever since, and every full moon she'll bring a bag of Skittles and share some with a monster.
If a clown knocks on your door on New Year's Eve tonight, don't open it. Last New Year's Eve, there was a report of a clown going door to door late at night, looking for someone to celebrate the New Year with. Each time someone would open their door and say no, he would grab them, put them in a special balloon he had made, and they would float up into the clouds, never to be seen again. Last year, a whole town went missing because they were cruel to the clown, the only survivor being a young girl who opened the door and gave him a hug. He smiled at her kindness, patted her on the head, and went back down into the sewer drain where he lives alone, waiting until next New Year's Eve to try and make a friend.
If this creature knocks on your door on Halloween, make sure you give it candy. 2 years ago, all the inhabitants of a small town went missing except for a young girl named Tara. When police asked her where everyone went, she told them that there was some type of monster with large horns that went door to door asking for candy, but that her town had stopped giving out candy on Halloween. She watched as each time a family didn't fill up the creature's pillowcase with candy, it dragged them into the river behind the town. Tara later said that she was the only one who survived because she had a small Snickers bar her teacher had given her, and she offered it to the creature, who nodded, patted her on the head, and went back to the river without her. This is why you should always check inside your closet at night. Mary had just gotten home when she turned off her bedroom light and laid down in bed. She was woken up a few moments later when she heard something sliding on her bedroom floor. She nearly screamed as she saw something terrifying hobbling out of her closet. She said it was reaching for her as she ran by it, and that it looked like a skeleton. No one believed her, and some nights she still sees the creature smiling at her from her closet. If you don't believe in aliens, this video might change your mind. In the early 2000s, a young boy named William was playing in his backyard when he started to hear a strange humming noise. Being curious, he went to investigate farther and suddenly came across an extremely bright light he later described as a color he had never seen before. He was terrified, but kept going closer and suddenly saw it. On the ground in front of him was a tiny alien, no bigger than a grasshopper or praying mantis. The boy said the alien looked up at him, surprised, and then disappeared into a beam of light that went far up into the sky. Do you think he was telling the truth? This is why everyone is afraid of dolls. In 1948, Jonathan Parker woke up after midnight to find something staring at him in his bed. It was a doll with red hair and bright eyes, and as if that wasn't enough, it had a note on it. At first, Jonathan thought his brothers were just playing a trick on him, but as he glanced over at their beds, he noticed they were still sound asleep. Jonathan grabbed his reading glasses and read the note. It said, "Miss me?" ? It was then that Jonathan noticed there was something even more frightening directly behind the doll, a creature with sharp teeth and glaring red eyes. He screamed, but when his family awoke, the doll and the creature were gone. There was one piece of evidence, though, that he still has to this day: the note. If you're afraid to fly, don't watch this video. James was flying for the first time at night when he noticed a strange person sitting across the aisle from him. The man was sweating and seemed to be changing somehow. His eyes were turning black, and his teeth seemed to be growing larger. The more the man changed, the worse the turbulence during the flight got. James warned the other passengers, who got together and tied the man to the seat. The vampire was too powerful, however, ripping open the emergency exit, opening his wings, and flying off into the night. The plane barely landed safely, but James never flew again. This is why you should never go to McDonald's at midnight. 1 month ago, 2 young girls were out late at night and looking for something to eat. They came across what looked like a brand new McDonald's, and they were about to open the door when they saw a terrifying person dressed in a McDonald's uniform with a large red wig waving slowly from the other side of the door. The girls later said that he had white eyes and almost didn't look human. They ran home and were so afraid that they called the police. The police checked the area and then went to the girls' home, informing them that the McDonald's they said was open had been burned to the ground 5 years ago, and the building was nothing but ashes. This is why you should never date a vampire. Ethan had met a girl online named Susan, and they had agreed to meet at the beach to get coffee together and go for a walk. He thought it was strange she wanted to meet after dark, but he didn't think too much of it. When he got to the beach after dark and saw Susan, he found she was beautiful, until her eyes turned a bright yellow and her mouth opened to reveal many razor-sharp teeth. She tried to bite his neck, but he luckily was wearing a cross that his grandmother had given him. She screamed when she saw it, flying off into the night. Ethan has never gone on a date since, and now he thinks every woman is a vampire.
This is why you should never go into Old King Creole's half-priced voodoo shop. Number 1, the voodoo shop gives out free wishes, but they always go horribly wrong, and it's said that no one has ever survived a wish. Number 2, the walls are lined with little voodoo dolls that are literally alive and turn to watch you as you walk around the store. And number 3, it's said that the shop is run by an actual voodoo doll named King Creole, and that he tries to turn others into voodoo dolls to work at his store for all of eternity. Would you ever go inside this voodoo shop?
This is why you should never go to McDonald's at midnight. 1 month ago, 2 young girls were out late at night and looking for something to eat. They came across what looked like a brand new McDonald's, and they were about to open the door when they saw a terrifying person dressed in a McDonald's uniform with a large red wig waving slowly from the other side of the door. The girls later said that he had white eyes and almost didn't look human. They ran home and were so afraid that they called the police. The police checked the area and then went to the girls' home, informing them that the McDonald's they said was open had been burned to the ground 5 years ago, and the building was nothing but ashes. This is why you should always keep your door locked after midnight. Jessica was home alone and babysitting when she heard the front door creak open. She went to investigate and saw 2 pale-faced creatures in suits standing outside, smiling at her. She screamed as they floated inside, grabbing her little brother and running. The 2 of them barely made it out of the house alive, escaping out a downstairs window. She later told the police that she still sees the 2 pale-faced creatures appear outside their door, but this time, she always makes sure it's locked. This is why you should never look under your bed at night. Josh was almost asleep when he heard something calling to him. It was saying,
"Help me. Please help me."
Josh was scared for a moment, but the voice sounded sweet and not really frightening. He kept listening and realized the sound was coming from underneath his bed. Josh held onto the bed and put his head to the floor, looking underneath into the darkness and saying, "Hello?" The last thing Josh heard before it pulled him under the bed was the creature laughing and its eyes lighting up a bright red. His parents found his bed empty the next morning, and they still don't know what happened to him to this day. This is why you should never make a deal with the devil. 6 months ago, a young girl was lonely, so she wished for 1 million subscribers on TikTok. Suddenly, the devil appeared at the foot of her bed in a cloud of smoke, handing her a scroll of paper and a pen with blood as ink for her signature. She asked him if she signed the contract, if she would ever be lonely again. The devil smiled and said,
"You'll never be lonely again."
She signed it, and the next second she got 1 million subscribers, but at that same moment she could feel her soul leave her body. She began to cry and told the devil she changed her mind, but he only grinned, disappeared, and took the contract with him.
These are the 3 reasons why you should never play the Whisper game. Number 1, if you are found during the Whisper game, it is said your soul is sent to the devil. Number 2, if you pick a bad hiding spot, something even more terrifying may find you before the game ends. And number 3, some people say that just by playing the Whisper game, you and everyone else who played will die within the next 24 hours. Make sure you and your friends never play this game. Full story on my YouTube channel. These are the 3 reasons why you should never play with a Ouija board. Number 1, Ouija boards have been known to trick you into selling your soul to the devil. Number 2, children have been known to summon demons on accident while playing together on the board. And number 3, in 1977, an entire family of 5 went missing when they tried summoning the Angel of Darkness on a Ouija board. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck. This is why you should never try and summon your own girlfriend or boyfriend. Samantha was lonely, so she tried summoning her own boyfriend. She got a magazine and cut out the face of her favorite K-pop star and set it on her bedroom floor. She then looked up at the full moon and said, "Please let him be real and in love with me." Samantha went to bed then, and when she woke up, the picture did become real. But there was a problem. Since she hadn't cut out his whole body, only his head was real, and it hopped around on the floor, coming closer, telling Samantha he would love her forever. Now, she has a handsome K-pop star's head following her everywhere she goes, and Samantha only wishes she could take back her wish and just be lonely again. These are the 3 reasons why you should never play with a Ouija board. Number 1, Ouija boards have been known to trick you into selling your soul to the devil. Number 2, children have been known to summon demons on accident while playing together on the board. And number 3, in 1977, an entire family of 5 went missing when they tried summoning the Angel of Darkness on a Ouija board. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck.
The top 3 new Siren Head sightings. Number 1, Siren Head was spotted in 2021 near Austin, Texas. Number 2, in December of 2019, 4 small children saw Siren Head near Cleveland, Ohio. And number 3, a Navy pilot allegedly saw Siren Head while flying over the Pacific Ocean just 2 weeks ago. Where do you think Siren Head will be spotted next?
If you look in the mirror and see this woman behind you, there are 3 things you must do. Number 1, do not turn around. Number 2, do not look her in the eyes. Number 3, do not let her know that you can see her. If you do all these things, she'll go away. Let me know in the comments if you think she is good or evil, and if you have ever seen her in your own mirror. She said that the creature was at least 100 feet tall with red, thin fingers. It was so tall that she could see it above the trees in the forest. That's what a woman said she saw yesterday in Yellowstone National Park. She had been walking with her husband when the 2 of them heard what they thought was an earthquake. Moments later, they saw the monstrous creature walking past them. No other sightings have been verified yet, but this is why the rake might actually be real. The rake was first spotted in the United States in 2003 and has been seen multiple times since then, with some surviving the encounter, but many not surviving. People that see the human-like creature either go completely insane or disappear completely and are never heard from again. There was recently an alleged sighting in New York with a young woman stating that it showed up outside her window every night, smiling at her and beckoning her to open the window. She said she had an overwhelming urge to open it and go to the creature, even though it terrified her more than anything she had ever seen. Do you think she's telling the truth, or do you believe the rake is just an urban legend? If you think your neighbor is a vampire, you might be right. Billy Atkins knew that his neighbor Miss Robbins was a vampire, but he needed proof. So one night he snuck into the woman's basement, hoping to get a picture of her coffin so that others would believe him. While he was searching for her coffin, he found something horrifying on the walls: jars of children, neatly lined up on the basement shelves. Miss Robbins heard him scream in surprise, and before she could rush down the stairs and grab him, Billy escaped out the window. No one believed him about what he had seen, and it wouldn't be the last encounter he had with the terrifying creature. This is why children are sometimes the most evil of all. Ethan woke up in his bed with something dead on the pillow next to him. A small bird. The next day there was a dead cat in the same spot, and the morning after that there was a small child. The little girls next door had been killing things and placing it on their neighbor's bed while he slept to frame him for murder.
Ethan knows the girls are evil, but he also knows that the police are more likely to believe he killed those things than children. What would you do if you were Ethan?
Would you date someone that ate puppies? That's what happened recently when John finally got a date with the most beautiful girl he'd ever seen, and he went back to her house and saw an adorable puppy in a cage. At first he thought it was her pet, until she laughed and said she'd made a deal with the devil, and in exchange for being beautiful forever, she had to eat an innocent puppy every night. Should John let her kill the puppy and stay beautiful forever, or find the courage to fight her and save the puppy, but end up lonely and single again? These are the top 3 scariest Siren Head sightings. Number 1, Siren Head was spotted in 2018 in Weyer, Austria. Number 2, in December of 2018, 4 small children saw Siren Head near Lake Erie in Cleveland, Ohio. And number 3, there were multiple reports of Siren Head being spotted in New York City in 2020. Where do you think Siren Head will be spotted next? She said that Smile Dog actually saved her. Jen was almost asleep when she heard a strange noise coming from underneath her bed. She was terrified, but she stuck her head underneath the bed anyway and saw a tall man staring back at her. The man grabbed the little girl and was about to pull her underneath the bed when the window burst open and a dog began to growl in the darkness. Jen recognized the dog as Smile Dog and watched as he grabbed the man and pulled him outside of her window. Jen told her parents what happened, but they said she made the whole thing up, telling her that there was no man underneath her bed and that Smile Dog isn't real. These are the 3 real ways to survive a bridge worm. Number 1, if you see a 4-foot-long worm on the ground, do not touch it. Number 2, if you see a long creature poking its head out from under a bridge or hole, don't try and feed it. It'll eat you instead. And number 3, if you see a large worm that has a strangely human face, do not go closer to it no matter what it says or does. It is not human and it will gladly eat you. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck. These are the top 3 ways to survive a mirror demon. Number 1, if you look into the mirror and your reflection smiles back at you, cover the mirror with a blanket immediately. Number 2, if you see a window or a mirror in the forest, don't look into it. And number 3, if your reflection begins to crawl out of a mirror, immediately close your eyes and scream, "This world is mine, go back to your world." If you follow these 3 rules, you should be able to survive a mirror or window demon. Good luck. These are the 3 real ways to survive a skinwalker. Number 1, if someone you know begins to smell like rotten meat, run. They might be a skinwalker. Number 2, if your dog comes home late at night and has 6 legs instead of 4, don't let them inside your home. And number 3, if your girlfriend or boyfriend wants to take you to Skinwalker Ranch, run. They are almost definitely a skinwalker and are taking you there to eat you. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck. These are the 3 real ways to survive a Wendigo. Number 1, if you hear a scream outside at exactly midnight, do not go into the forest. Number 2, if you are walking alone at night, make sure you don't accidentally cut yourself. Wendigos can smell even the smallest amount of blood and it will draw them to you. And number 3, if you are trapped by a Wendigo, the only way to kill it is by burning it alive. Good luck. These are the top 3 ways to survive an alien abduction. Number 1, if you see a bright light in the sky, don't run towards it. Number 2, if a green alien knocks on your window, do not open it. And number 3, if you do get abducted, make sure you have some type of cheese in your pocket. Aliens hate the smell of cheese and will kick you off their ship immediately. If you do these 3 things, aliens should leave you alone. For more alien stories, check out my YouTube channel. Good luck. These are the 3 real ways to survive Bendy. Number 1, never draw him in wet ink. If you bring him to life, he won't be happy. Number 2, never destroy one of his cardboard cutouts. And number 3, never tell him that he's not real. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck. These are the 3 real ways to survive Smile Cat. Number 3, if you see a cat outside your door and it smiles at you, do not open your door. Number 2, if you see the face of a cat on the moon, look away immediately. And number 1, if your parents bring home a cat that never blinks and is constantly smiling, do not let it sleep in your room at night. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck. These are the 4 ways to kill a zombie. Number 1, shoot them in the head. Number 2, lure them off a cliff to their death. Number 3, blow them up with high-level explosives. Number 4, sing them a love song. 3 of these work, 1 probably doesn't. Good luck.
If you see a ghost dog outside your door in 2021, let him in. 2 nights ago, a young woman was walking her dog Logan when she was attacked by an older man. He grabbed her, trying to force her into a van, but her dog Logan stopped him, wounding the man. But in the fight, the man managed to shoot the dog twice. The young woman was able to escape and get the police, but by the time she got back, Logan had passed away. The strange part is, the next night there were sightings across the country of a large ghost dog with glowing white eyes going door to door at midnight. Many think he just wants to say goodbye before he goes to heaven.
If you don't believe some hospitals are haunted, this video might change your mind. Patient 17983 told doctors he kept seeing a dead woman over his bed, but they didn't listen. He said she'd appear at midnight, and that if they didn't shut off the lights that she would do something terrible. They didn't take him seriously, and that night the dead woman appeared and ripped out the eyes of the other patient in the room. After that, the doctors moved patient 17983 to a separate room, but the hauntings continued, and the murders became even worse. Full story just posted to my YouTube, but be warned, you might really start believing in ghosts.
You're exploring an old insane asylum when you find a secret door and you hear a voice saying, "Help me," from the other side. Do you A, open the door and see what's there? B, run and never come back? Or C, ask the voice what it wants? I found something terrifying behind that door. Go to my YouTube channel for the full story. If you're ever in a town called Prey, Texas, run. Legend says that the people of Prey, Texas sold the souls of their children to the devil in exchange for their town being rich and successful for the next 80 years. Some people say that the devil is coming soon to collect the souls owed to him, and that as soon as he does, the town of Prey, Texas will be wiped off the map and no one will even remember it existing. Do you think it's true, and do you believe in the devil? These are the 3 reasons why the flypaper notebook is one of the scariest urban legends ever. Number 1, right after finding and opening the notebook, a young woman walked right into oncoming traffic. Number 2, 2 months later, a young man found the notebook, and after reading it for 30 seconds, he jumped out of an 8th floor window. And number 3, it's called the flypaper notebook because it's cursed and draws people to it like flies. Some people think that the notebook has to kill humans to survive, but no one has ever proved its existence for certain. Have you ever seen the notebook, and would you open it? This is the scariest Wendigo sighting of 2021. A few days ago, a young man visited Lake Erie, built a campsite, and went to bed. He woke up to the smell of rot and saw a creature carrying what looked like a body standing just outside his campsite. He screamed and almost ran, but remembered that Wendigos are afraid of fire, so he tried to stay calm and made sure the fire stayed burning until morning. The fire kept him alive, and the Wendigo returned to the woods near the lake when the sun rose the next day. When he made it back home, no one believed what he saw, and they said he was lying. Do you believe that Wendigos really exist? These are the 3 ways to kill a demon. Number 1, press a silver cross into their forehead. Number 2, throw a vial of holy water on them. Number 3, lock them in a church until sunrise. If you can keep them inside, they will turn into dust, but it won't be easy. And number 4, as a bonus, you can try saying the power of Christ compels you until the demon leaves the person's body. But that doesn't work half the time. Good luck. These are the 3 ways to kill a vampire. Number 1, pure silver. When pressed against their skin, it will burn them. Number 2, a silver cross hung around their neck. Number 3, a wooden stake driven directly into their heart, as long as you know which side of their chest their heart is on. And as a bonus, wearing fresh garlic around your neck will protect you from a vampire bite, but you'll still have to finish them off somehow. Good luck. These are the 3 ways to kill a werewolf. Number 1, shoot it with a silver bullet directly through the heart. Number 2, chop off its head with an axe and bury its body and its head many miles apart. Number 3, use fire. Werewolves can be burned to death, but it's going to be difficult to keep them in one place, and it will probably just end up making them more angry. Good luck.
These are the 3 real ways to survive cartoon cat. Number 1, always keep your closet door locked at night. Number 2, if you see a stray cat, never ever be mean to it or cartoon cat will get its revenge. And number 3, never draw a cartoon cat's picture and put it under your bed before you fall asleep. If you follow these 3 rules, you should be fine. Good luck. These are the best 3 ways to survive Siren Head. Number 1, if you hear the sound of Siren Head, quickly put in earplugs before your head explodes. Number 2, if you see a strange building near your house that wasn't there before, don't go near it. Siren Head can take different forms like cars and old buildings. Number 3, if it runs towards you, quickly hide in your house before it squishes you with its foot. Good luck. These are the top 3 ways to survive Smile Dog. Number 1, never look at his real picture. Number 2, never say Smile Dog 3 times after midnight. And number 3, never share his video with 3 friends. He won't haunt you anymore, but he will haunt them for the rest of their lives. Good luck. These are the best 3 ways to survive the Rake. Number 1, if he appears over your bed, do not look into his eyes. Number 2, always lock your door after midnight. And number 3, never say his name 3 times under a full moon. Good luck. These are the top 3 scariest Siren Head sightings. Number 1, Siren Head was spotted in 2018 in Weyer, Austria. Number 2, in December of 2018, 4 small children saw Siren Head near Lake Erie in Cleveland, Ohio. And number 3, there were multiple reports of Siren Head being spotted in New York City in 2020. Where do you think Siren Head will be spotted next? This is why you might live forever. The dead have been rising from their graves in Norway due to scientists experimenting and bringing different humans and even movie characters to life. They started with creating Thanos and Iron Man, who battled each other for days before both escaping the lab. The scientists have claimed that they have the ability to bring any of us back from the dead, but we might be brought back evil. Would you want them to bring you back, or would you be afraid you might come back as some type of zombie? And what do you think happened to Iron Man and Thanos? This is why the Thanksgiving Massacre of '78 is even more terrifying than you think. There was a poor family in Washington that couldn't afford a turkey, so they thought they were in luck when they saw one wandering across the street. They didn't know, however, that the turkey was the only pet of Crazy Joe DeBata, who lived by himself in an old cabin. His only friend was the turkey, and when he couldn't find his pet that night, he went searching for it, bringing an axe in case a bear had taken him. When Joe burst open the door to the family's home and found them about to eat his friend, he went mad, chopping their heads off with his axe and stuffing them like a turkey. He ate well that night, even having leftovers for tomorrow. This is why you should always lock your door on Halloween. Last Halloween, a family was getting ready for bed when they heard a knock on their door. It was 4 children dressed in very real-looking Halloween costumes. The family gestured for the kids to come inside and grab from the big candy bowl, but the 4 children stayed silent. They suddenly spoke all at once, in a terribly deep voice. "Let us in." It was then that the family noticed the children weren't standing on the porch at all, but floating, and that they weren't wearing costumes, but were monsters and demons themselves. The family slammed the door and locked it, surviving until morning. Happy Halloween. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button. These are the 3 real reasons why angels really do exist. Number 1, 10 years ago, a little girl told the news that she had fallen into a lake and was drowning when an angel swooped down and carried her back onto the shore. Number 2, many children around the world have reported angels protecting them from bullies at school and feeling angels watching over them when they went to sleep at night. And number 3, many people at the end of their lives have said they finally came face to face with their guardian angel moments before their death. Do you believe in angels? This is why sin eating is real and you should never do it. A young man recently was asked to perform a sin eating ritual on his best friend's grandmother after she died. He thought it was all make-believe and just wanted to make the family feel better, so he performed their ritual and then he saw it. There was a demon just feet away, and the sin eating ritual had caused the old woman's sins to be attached to him instead. Now he knows that sin eating is real and that demons do exist because the old woman's demon is now his and it follows him everywhere he goes. This is why you should never watch scary movies alone. Gwen's parents had left the house when she decided to watch The Nun by herself. She looked it up online, turned the lights off, and hit play. Everything was normal at first, until the first time The Nun came on screen, and the movie paused on its own. At first, Gwen thought it was just a coincidence, but as she played the movie farther, she noticed that each time the woman's face would come on screen, the movie would pause, and the nun seemed to be looking directly at her. She even winked once. Gwen told her friends, but no one believed her, and she's never watched a scary movie or video again. What would you do if you found this under your bed? That's what happened to a young woman a few days ago when she shut off the lights and heard someone laughing under her bed. She used her phone as a flashlight, sticking her head underneath, and saw this staring back at her. It said,
"Do you want a cheeseburger?"
And she screamed, running to her parents and calling the police. They found nothing, except for an empty cheeseburger wrapper from McDonald's. Written in ketchup on the wrapper were the words,
"Next time I'm going to eat you instead."
What do you think she should do now?
The top 3 new reasons why you should never use a Ouija board. Number 1, Ouija boards have been known to trick you into summoning a demon. Number 2, many people have gone missing while using them. And number 3, if an evil spirit is summoned, the board may erupt into flames. Have you ever used a Ouija board?
These are the top 3 scariest things that could happen in 2021. Number 3, aliens invade the Earth, turning us all into slaves and possibly eating us. Number 2, robots become self-aware and find a way to exterminate the entire human race. And the number 1 scariest thing that could happen in 2021, a portal to hell opens up in California and we are all dragged into it, suffering and being tortured endlessly by horrifying demons and even Satan himself. Which of these do you think will happen in 2021?
The top 3 ways to survive a zombie apocalypse. Number 1, wear 3 layers of clothes so zombies can't bite you. Number 2, move to an island because zombies can't swim. And number 1, make sure you're in good shape so you can outrun them. Would you survive a zombie apocalypse?
Top 3 scariest urban legends ever. Number 1, the rake. A young woman said a creature would float over her bed and visit her every night. Number 2, smile dog. The story goes if you look at his photo, he will haunt your dreams forever. Number 3, the gravekeeper. A young man found a coffin in his backyard, and when he opened it, a paranormal entity was released called the gravekeeper. It tried to destroy his life and kill his family. What do you think is the scariest urban legend ever? Warning, these are the real sounds of Siren Head.
This is why you should never let anyone take your eyes out. Last week, a young man was driving through an old town when he noticed something strange. Everyone was wearing sunglasses. He stopped his car to ask about it, but they grabbed the man, dragged him out of his car, and removed his eyeballs with an ice cream scooper. After that, a young woman took out some type of spider creature and placed it inside his empty eye sockets. The spider burrowed deep inside his skull, and then the woman put back the man's eyeballs to hide it. He doesn't know what the spider wants, but he can feel it moving around behind his eyes to this day, and part of him worries it might even be laying eggs. What is the one thing that zombies love most? A. Eating brains. B. Their girlfriends. C. Shiny things. Or D. Biting people and making new zombies. To find out what zombies really want, check out the full animated video on my YouTube channel.
You think your mom's new boyfriend might be a serial killer, but you're not sure. Do you A. follow him around and see what he does? B. Just ask him if he's a serial killer? C. Warn your mom? Or D. Put a tracking app on his phone and see where he goes? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story.
These are the 2 steps to find out what creature is living in your bedroom. Step 1, set out a piece of cheese, a bowl of oatmeal, and a bag of Cheetos next to your bed. Step 2, go to sleep, and when you wake up the next morning, look to see what's gone. If the cheese is missing, you either have an elf, a mouse, or an elf mouse living in your room. If the oatmeal is missing, you either have a centaur or a vegetarian angel. And if the Cheetos are missing, you're either dealing with a banshee or a family member who doesn't respect your personal space. P.S. If there is a bite mark on your arm, you could very well have a zombie living in your room instead. Good luck and let me know what you find. Your cat dies, but the devil offers you a deal to get him back. Do you A, make a deal with the devil? B, just get a different cat? C, ask the devil what he wants in return? Or D, just get a dog instead? To find out how I brought my cat back from the dead, go to my YouTube channel for the full video.
You're alone at night with your dog when he starts growling at something under your bed. Do you A, grab your dog and run out of the room? B, look under your bed and see what's under there? C, grab a pillow and use it as a weapon? Or D, call the police and tell them there's probably a monster under your bed? To find out what's under the bed, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. You're using a Ouija board at night when the lights go out and you see a ghost woman standing outside your window. Do you A, destroy the Ouija board immediately? B, open the window and ask her what she wants? C, lock all the doors and windows? Or D, ask her out on a date? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. Your grandfather shoots his cat Raffy and tells you that the cat was a demon. Do you A, have your grandfather admitted to a mental hospital? B, ask him to prove it was a demon? C, call the police, he's clearly crazy? Or D, trust your grandfather and help him bury the demon cat? To find out if the cat was really a demon, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. You work at a paranormal jail when one day a demon prisoner says, "If you keep working here, you'll die." Do you A, quit your job immediately? B, don't pay attention, demons are liars? C, ask your boss if anyone has ever died at your job? Or D, try and become friends with the demon? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. You're in the woods hunting with your friend when a deer looks at you and says, "Don't shoot, it's me." Do you A, run, it's probably a skinwalker? B, shoot it anyway? C, go home, hunting is stupid? Or D, ask it a question? To find out what we did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. You work the night shift at a museum when the new mummy starts talking to you. Do you A, run, the mummy is probably evil and trying to trick you? B, take out your lighter and set it on fire, talking mummies can't be trusted? C, quit your job and never go back to the museum? Or D, go closer and ask the mummy what it wants? To find out what Ben did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story, The Mummy's Voice. You're walking alone at night when you see a scarecrow move. Do you A, go closer and touch it? B, take out your lighter and burn it to the ground? C, run, a moving scarecrow can't be a good thing? Or D, ask the scarecrow a question? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. Your grandfather tells you to never go looking for fairies in the woods or they will do something horrifying to you. Do you A, go explore the woods anyway? What's the worst that could happen? B, never go into the woods again. Your grandfather said the fairies are demonic and will eat your skin off your bones if they catch you. C, bring a jar and try to catch a fairy for yourself. Or D, take a phone with you so you can get a fairy on video and go viral on TikTok. To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. A wooden puppet begins speaking to you. It asks you if you want to know a secret. Do you A, say yes? B, say hell no and kick the puppet out of your house? C, ask the puppet if it is good or evil? Or D, grab a candle and set the puppet on fire? To find out the puppet's secret, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. You're being held prisoner by a serial killer in his basement. You get free, but as you're about to run away, you see what looks like a tree demon blocking your way. Do you A, go back down into the basement with the serial killer? B, try to run past the tree demon to safety? Or C, ask the tree demon for help? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. A serial killer hiding in your car tells you to drive to his house in the woods. Do you A, do as he says, maybe he'll let you live? B, put on your seatbelt and crash into the nearest tree? Or C, quietly try to dial 911 and hope they can track the car? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. Your neighbor tells you a Wendigo lives behind your home and the only way to survive it is to feed it bones every night. Do you A, listen to her and put out bones? B, laugh and tell her Wendigos aren't real? C, ask her what kind of bones are its favorite? Or D, go into the forest behind your home and try to hunt down the Wendigo? To find out what we did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. A zombie apocalypse breaks out and the person you love gets bitten by a zombie. Do you A, blow their head off? B, take care of them and wait for a cure? Or C, marry them anyway and have zombie children? Your uncle has a bottomless pit in his yard. Do you A, climb down into it? B, fill it with dirt? C, throw a rock down there and see if you hear a noise? Or D, tell your little brother he should go down there and check it out? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story.
You're driving alone at night when you run over the devil by accident. Do you A, stop and ask the devil if he's alright? B, run over him again? C, get out and throw holy water on him? Or D, tell him you'll run over him again if he doesn't grant you a wish? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story. You're driving alone at night when you see two mannequins standing in the road. Do you A, give them a ride? B, run them over and keep going? C, pinch yourself because you must be dreaming? Or D, turn around and never come back? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story.
Your brother dies and is buried, but 1 year later you hear his voice saying, "Help me," from the bottom of a well. Do you A, go down into the well and help him? B, run, that's not your brother? C, go to the edge and look down into the water? Or D, ask your brother to prove it's really him? To find out what we did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story.
You see a tall stick figure standing outside your window at night. Do you A, close the curtains and go back to bed? B, open the window and ask it what it wants? C, let your dog outside to try and scare it off? Or D, go outside and climb it? To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story.
Your neighbor starts digging a hole in his yard and you see demons pull him inside it. Do you A, go inside the hole and try to pull him out? B, fill the hole back up and never tell anyone? C, grab weapons to defeat the demons and then jump into the hole? Or D, pretend you didn't see anything? It's not your problem. To find out what I did, go to my YouTube channel for the full story.